Mesa is one of my favorite Warframes in the game, and that is not only because of her amazing assets, it's also because of the amazing red crits that you're gonna be gaining when you make today's build, clearing out Steel Path and Acolytes alike like it's nothing. So if that sounds interesting, let's quickly hop into the video. Ah yes, Mesa, my beloved, with her exalted secondary, she is amazing. Today I have two builds for you guys, one cheap red crits and the other one a maxed out, fully kitted out Mesa, allowing you to literally dominate inside of Steel Path. So without any further delays, we're gonna delay it just a little bit more. If you would be so kind to scroll down a little bit, click that subscribe bell icon and like if you like the video. It is always appreciated by me loads, and comment down below on what you think of the build when we get to it. But now let's get into the passive. First of all, we have three different buffs here. If you're using a dual wielded sidearm, you're gonna get a 15% fire rate increase. If you're using a one-handed sidearm, you are gonna be getting a reload speed increase of 25%, and if you're not using a melee weapon, you get 50 health, and that's incredibly good. So that is literally the only one that we're gonna be utilizing. And now, let's move on to the actual abilities. The first ability is going to be Balistic Battery. Balistic Battery, firing your guns, is going to charge up your shot, and then once you release this channeled ability, your next shot is going to do massive amounts of damage. A decent ability, but we're going to change it out for a much better one called Pillage. We're going to be subsuming this from Hildren, and this ability will allow you many different things. First of all, to gather up shields and overshields for yourself through stripping enemies armor and shields as well. The other cool and one of the best actually aspects of this ability is the status cleansing. All of negative status effects literally disappear the instant you use this ability. Keeping in mind, if you do get into a sticky pickle, you can press this ability one more time to quickly retract and strip enemies' shields and armor, because the range of this is actually dependent on your duration and not your actual range. But that was our first ability. It is going to synchronize with other ones as well, but we have to get the Shooting Gallery, the second ability. This will give you and your allies, depending on which and whose turn it is, extra damage on your weapons while jamming the guns of nearby enemies. This is actually really good as a CC crowd controlling ability, and it also gives you extra damage. Now, as I said, it is on a rotation, so it will switch out between party members, but if you're solo, this buff is purely yours. And now, we're going to be moving on to the third ability, Shatter Shield. Shatter Shield basically gives you 95% damage reduction on your shields and overshields as well. And this is one of the best ways to synchronize or combine with Pillage. Because you already have massive amounts of shields, you're pretty much going to be invincible throughout the whole of the gameplay, as you may be seeing in the background. One downside of this ability is you cannot stop melee attacks, so focus on those melee enemies and just get rid of them so they can't get rid of your shields. And you can pretty much survive as long as you want, alongside magnetic procs. Those can get annoying as well, but you can pretty much dodge them most of the time. And now, what enemies cannot dodge is your Peacemakers, your exalted secondary weapon, your dual Regulators. You whip it out and start blasting at enemies. Now, the circle that you can see a little bit around your reticle, it gets smaller and smaller, meaning you can target less enemies, but you do substantially more damage, which is really good. This ability also has an augment mod, allowing you to move whilst you're in your Regulators, because you cannot actually move without this augment mod. And the augment mod is Mesa's Volts. This will allow you to move at 50% speed while using Peacemakers, and you can put this in the Exile slot, which is incredibly good. And now, one of the best features is the actual build itself. We're going to be starting off with the cheap one, and it is up on screen right now. In the Aura slot, we have Pistol Amp. In the Exilus slot, we have our Mesa's Volts, Constitution, Rolling Guard, Primed Flow, Primed Continuity, Narrow-Minded, Umbral Intensify, Blind Rage, and Equilibrium. I tried to max out my duration as much as humanly possible, just so I don't have to cast my second and third ability as much. And of course the Arcanes, which I do want to mention, Arcane Velocity, which is gonna give us extra fire rate on our secondary, and then Arcane Hotshot, level 1. And now keep this in mind, this Arcane can get pretty expensive because it is pretty hard to get, but even at level 1, alongside the other things in the build, which you're going to be seeing a little bit later on, you will be able to achieve 99.9% red crits pretty much all of the time. Now, Arcane Hotshot will give you critical chance based on the heat damage that your abilities do. So you do heat damage, you gain 1% critical chance per 10 seconds, and you can pretty much keep this up all of the time because your Peacemakers are going to be blasting away at enemies. And now let me show you the regulator builds, and this is it up on screen. We are focusing on corrosive, heat, and of course we do have a slash puncture and impact alongside critical chance and a lot of it, and Cascadia Overcharge. Cascadia Overcharge is going to allow you to gain a 300% critical chance while overshields are active, and they're going to be active pretty much all of the time. So this is a massive boost to your critical chance and a massive boost to your damage as well. Now this build pretty much stays the same no matter which build you use, the high-end one or the low one, and this is the high-end Mesa build. Pretty much stays the same, and we are utilizing an almost maxed out hotshot. Now, in this situation, it is going to give us 5% critical chance instead of 1, and this is just going to increase our critical chance, giving us those exclamation marks that we all love and see, and also increasing our damage. Because when you do red crits and even higher red crits with those exclamation marks, you're going to be dealing bonus damage, which is incredibly good. And talking about damage, what are the weapons of choice? Well, we literally don't have none. Our regulators are going to be doing 99.9% of the damage throughout the gameplay. I do carry a primary because you do need to carry one, but honestly, you can choose whatever you want. But don't bring a melee weapon because, you know, you gain that 50 health. But if you really want to and you don't mind the 50 health, you can also bring a melee weapon. Now, the focus core choice in this situation, it is not important. You can choose whichever one you want. I choose Mother Ride just because it's easier to kill Thrax units, but you can choose whichever one you like the most. And now, let's talk about the Archon Shards of choice. In our Archon Shards, for our Archon Shards, we have 3 Tau Forged orange ones. Each one is going to increase our secondary's critical chance by 1.5% every time you kill an enemy affected by heat status. And this is going to max out at 75%, meaning that you're going to be maxing out at 225% additional critical chance on your secondaries, alongside the 1 yellow Tau Forged one giving a 75% extra effectiveness on energy orbs, and then a free slot. In this free slot, you can literally put whatever you want. A yellow Archon Shard that is going to give you more effectiveness or casting speed. You can put in even a blue one if you want to for more shields, for example. You can put a red one for more critical chance, or even another Tau Forged Topaz one, but I don't necessarily think you need it. Nonetheless, this is a completely free slot that you can put in whatever you want. And now, let's cover the companion of choice. I use the Adarza Kavat because of Cat's Eye. This can occasionally increase your critical chance even more, which is really nice. But the other cool things about this companion is going to be Seismic Bond. While one of your channeled abilities is active, your companion is going to attack enemies with melee attacks, which is actually going to have a knockdown radius, and the damage dealt by your companion is going to increase your ability efficiency by 3% for 12 seconds, maxing out at 10 stacks, meaning 30% additional efficiency, which is very nice. We do have Tenacious Bond as well, giving us extra critical damage because our companion does have above 50% critical chance, and you can pretty much see it through the claw builds on the screen as well. Other companions that you could use Nautilus, you could for example even use the Panzerwurzelpfeile or Primehound. It is completely dependent on you. The Adarza Kavat is not a must-have. And now that we have covered all of that, how am I supposed to play Mesa? Well, first of all, activate Pillage, get yourself loads and loads of shields and overshields as well, just so you can get and activate Cascadia Overcharge. Activate Shatter Shield just so you protect yourself, and then Shooting Gallery. And then you whip out your Peacemakers and just start blasting. And that is pretty much it. That is how you play Mesa. Gain those red crits, increase that critical chance with your hotshot and alongside those Archon Shards, and you're doing red crits all the time. You're pretty much eliminating every single enemy that appears in front of you or behind you or beside you, and that's pretty much it. And that is one of the reasons why I love Mesa. She is so versatile. You can use her in 99% of situations, especially survival missions, because with the amount of shields and the amount of damage reduction and the amount of damage that you're doing, you're not gonna have any issues in Steel Path. You can see that I pretty much obliterate acolytes literally in a couple of seconds with when they appear. So this Mesa build, I would say, is very good, but it is up to you as well. So leave it in the comment section down below on what you think of the build. I do truly hope you guys enjoyed. I'm slowly coming back into Warframe, and I'm slowly but surely gonna be making more and more videos. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I love every single one of you guys that clicks that subscribe, like, bell icon, and also comments down below. This has been your lovely host, the Gaming Weasel, over and out.